Prime Minister Modi attended the 17th BRICS Summit. He in fact met with the Brazil and South Africa leaders. He met the Brazilian President Lula de Silva. In fact, this is the first state visit by an Indian Prime Minister in 6 decades, and that is quite significant. In fact, he has a strong message at the BRICS Summit. He says that the global South is a victim of West's double standards, and this is quite an important statement that the Prime Minister has made. He also goes on to say that we must prioritize global South's interest. Remember, Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin, they have skipped the BRICS Summit 2025. What does it mean for India? We'll try and get a sense of that. In fact, I'm currently joined by Mr. Pramit Pal Chaudhary, the head of South Asia Eurasia Group. Mr. Chaudhary, the Prime Minister making some very crucial and important statements there, including the fact that the global South is a victim of West's double standards. What do you make of that statement, and what is your assessment of this?
Well, I think this represents the fact that we're seeing a general erosion of Western influence in the international system. We saw that to some degree. We have seen it quite spectacularly under the Trump administration, but it preceded even the arrival of Trump. We'll probably see a similar thing with Europe as Europe remilitarizes and diverts a lot of its money and its bandwidth increasingly to Russia and Ukraine and away from the rest of the world. So the West, as we know it, is now no longer as dominant. It's still obviously very powerful, but it is no longer coherent as a body, and it no longer has bandwidth to look at international affairs in the way that it used to. We have seen the collapse, for example, of global attempts to create a green finance structure from north to south, despite the West's claims that climate was so important as an issue. It was unable to put money on the table. We have seen the international trading system is now basically falling apart. And this will automatically be detrimental to many countries in the global South. We're seeing a digital revolution, a green transition. We're seeing huge technology changes, all of which at present there is no role or place for the global South, except for a handful of countries who basically have indigenous capacity. So Modi India rightly sees a gap there, especially for countries who are also suspicious of China as essentially being a new hegemon in the international system.
What is quite significant and important here is the absence of Russia and China from this particular edition of the BRICS Summit 2025. Having said that, what kind of support can India garner, realistically expect from the BRICS nations, including China and Russia? Because, there is a trade tariff war that is going on at the moment. There are, the kind of relations that US and China share at the moment. The war that is happening in Ukraine, and then in turn, the US and Russia's dynamics. Everything, comes together. And when a summit like this happens and Russia and China, they don't take part in the summit, what is your understanding of the entire situation then? And where does India stand in that, the entire dynamics?
Well, Russia and China are represented, but they're not represented by Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. Putin's non-appearance is not a surprise. That refers to the International Criminal Court's warrant against him and the threat of arrest that he faces. Xi's decision not to come. This is the first BRICS summit. He's appeared at every other BRICS summit since he's come to power in 2012. This is the first that he has not shown up. And that is a bit strange and may be connected, we don't actually know, to his domestic problems at home. We've seen a purge in his military and so on and so forth, but we're not clear as to why that's happened. That gives India space, and that's a good thing for us. You notice Lula is holding a special state state banquet for Prime Minister Modi, who's obviously being treated as a primus inter pares, a first among equals among the BRICS countries. See, the BRICS, I think for the BRICS, keep in mind, BRICS is a nascent organization. It's been around for a long time, but it's never really done very much. It has deep internal divisions. Obviously, China and India are daggers drawn within the BRICS. And in the last few BRICS summits, India and Brazil joined hands to fight Russia and China over a number of anti-Western actions on the grounds that the BRICS should be effectively a non-aligned organization and not be involved in on fighting China's battles against the West. BRICS has made statements. You saw the BRICS foreign ministers saying that the international trading system, the actions by certain countries, in this case the United States, are detrimental. But India has also publicly said on its own that one of the key reasons that the trading system has been falling apart for a while has been China's constant cheating, if you wish, or refusal to adhere to rules of the WTO. So the BRICS right now, yes, it looks at a lot of international problems. This will be interesting that the Iran-Israel conflict will be particularly difficult because Iran will be for the first time a full-fledged BRICS member and will presumably push very hard for language on that conflict. India will obviously push for language on terrorism, given its recent conflict with Pakistan. But we'll see. It's hard to get a consensus. And keep in mind, this will be the first expanded BRICS summit. So we will have at least 4 new members. If I'm correct, it's Egypt, Ethiopia, UAE, and Iran, and Indonesia, 5, I think. Saudi Arabia will be there, I think, as a partner country, as a few others will be. So it'll be even more difficult than normal to get a consensus in the BRICS. So we're not expecting anything, nobody's expecting anything major out of the BRICS right now in this summit, given that it's now double the size of what it was before. But also keep in mind, the Brazilian ambassador to India has recently said that critical minerals and permanent magnets will also be on the agenda, a clear reference to the anger among many BRICS countries to China's decision to put a ban on the export of permanent magnets, which is putting a huge dent into the electrical vehicles and missile and drone capacities of many BRICS members, including India.
All right, Mr. Pramit Pal Chaudhary, thank you very much for speaking with NDTV.